On sustainable projects.
In answer to his question about the subjects,
there are more questions than answers.
Radio Commands Talk Today.
oh, what a compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? They are homeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up to God or we fall to nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. Art Connor filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks, along with me, Mr. Michael McLaughlin. And first off, this afternoon, we will be talking with Miss Katina Anglin of the Christian Civics Association. So please stay tuned. Talk Today will be back shortly.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Commands Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. My name is Art Connor, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks. In the studio with me, we have Mr. Michael McLaughlin. Michael, good afternoon,
sir. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure to have you in. First time being in the studio with you, but I'm sure that we're going to enjoy it today. And of course, we have the very exciting Miss Katina Anglin with us. She's all raring to go. She is always so positive, always so positive. It's good to have you on the show this afternoon, Miss Anglin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Connor. It is nice to have you on the show this afternoon.
There you go. Compliments abound.
Yes.
And likewise to you too, Mr. Mike.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you. Nice to have you here. I agree with Mr. O.C. You're always very engaging.
Yes.
That is for sure. And that's most important in terms of discussion for whatever topic it may be.
Exactly.
So tell us and our audience what we're in store for this afternoon.
We're in store for more education for the electorate.
Yes.
There will be things said again today that was said last time and the time before. And it's necessary that they are reiterated because some people need to hear the same thing more than once.
Yes.
There are those who will be tuning in for the first time this afternoon.
Indeed.
They need to hear it.
Yes.
It needs to be hammered home. Just a reminder at times. Yes, you know it. You remembered it from the first time I said it. But this evening, you forgot one point.
Yes.
So this, some things just have to be reiterated, and it's not every time I'm going to come here that I'm going to come with a whole entire new schedule, a new agenda. But I've got some other stuff on there this afternoon, and today we are going to be looking at engaging your candidates. Last show was about why you should vote. This show is about engaging your candidates. Next show will be about political language. Because now I'm telling you to go
Sure.
do your research, meet with these people.
Yes.
And then they're going to say some things to you.
Sure.
What exactly do those things mean?
Does it mean?
I have an analogy I want to use in a little bit about language, and I'm going to use it from the great USA so that no one can take offense of it here in the Cayman Islands. But it's just an insight into some of the language that we'll be looking at on our next session in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, Pastor Rose has joined us on the phone as well. Ms. Tina, tell us.
Good afternoon, Pastor Rose. He will be offering up a prayer for the country and for the electorate of the Cayman Islands. Each session, there will be a different pastor joining us to pray for and over the country.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Pastor Rose.
Good afternoon, Pastor Rose.
Good afternoon, Sir O.C., and good afternoon to your listening audience. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We pause at this moment for our time of prayer. Gracious God, our Father, our friend, and our keeper, we thank you once again for the opportunity we have to be able to pray for our nation and to pray over the lives of our people. We thank you once again for this time where our people will elect fresh leadership for this nation. We ask, oh God, that you will grant your people the wisdom, the insight, the knowledge, the foresight that they need in order to be able to select, Lord, good leadership that will lead this nation in the next 4 years into good standards and good moral upliftment, and that, Lord, we as a people will continue to see your hand of mercy extended to us. We thank you, Lord, for all our radio personnel and all those who seek to continue to, Lord, support us with good information. We pray your blessing upon them and that you'll continue to lead and guide and direct. We give this nation to you once again. You have founded upon the seas, and we stand by your word, and we declare, Father, that your purpose for this nation will come alive and come to pass. Bless this nation, we ask, and we give you thanks. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. And for God bless you. And for clarity, that is Dr. Christopher Rose and not Dr. and not Pastor Winston Rose.
Yes.
I had to make the adjustment in my phone because I had in Pastor Rose and Pastor Rose. Okay. Yes. So, following on from that, let me greet the Cayman Islands in the name of Jesus Christ, our wonderful Lord and Savior. As you know, O.C., and I'm sure that you know as well, Mike, we are declared a nation of Christian values. Mm-hmm. But in that, we practice the tolerance towards all people, because we must be a light unto all people that they can become attracted to Christ. Mm-hmm. And so I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ, our wonderful Lord and Savior, this evening. For reconfirmation as to the discussion here this afternoon, it is not about candidacy. Mm-hmm. So I am not here advocating for any particular individual candidate team. Right. I am here to help to educate the electorate on choosing the right candidate. And we will see in a little bit that choosing the right candidate is often determined by some personal views of the individual. Indeed. As well. I'll go ahead and I'll offer an update on the judicial review.
Okay, yes, that would be good.
Yes. If I can interject first, digress just for a moment to say that the judicial review is not challenging whether or not that we are entitled to same-sex marriage under the Constitution of the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
The judicial review is based on a single point. Did the governor lawfully use Section 801? That's a clear and distinct point before the court, separate away from same-sex marriage. Okay. I can understand the confusion of people in the country because it arose as a result of the same-sex marriage Court of Appeal judgment.
Sure.
But it's not challenging the Constitution or even the petitioners. It is simply was the governor lawful? Yes, and you would understand about judicial review and the process and so on. And it is a very, very valid question. When we have people in power, we have to be sure that they are using their power appropriately. Everybody in this country should want to know that the governor use his power appropriately, because it is such a volatile piece of legislation, right? Yeah. And I know that you have hosted guests on this show such as Dr. Steve Macfield, who understands the Constitution very well, and the drive of some of the people in the country, because some of us want more autonomy, and even the members of the Legislative Assembly who have their views on whether or not we should remain with stronger ties to England or let go some of those ropes from the dock, you know. And so when you have an article such as Section 801 that allows the governor to act in a way, in a manner such as he did, we need to know when it is properly utilized and how it is to be properly utilized. And this is all in the interest of democracy and good governance, right?
Yes.
So setting that.
And that's what the mother country, preaches to us and lectures us about good governance.
Good governance.
They must exercise it as well.
That's right. That's right. I refer to her sometimes as my abusive mother.
Okay.
Because sometimes she can come up with a big stick.
Yes.
Personally speaking, I'd rather to see us as her children able to run the household on our own capabilities, our own resources. And truthfully speaking, if we look back over the history of the Cayman Islands, it is true strong leadership here, the leaders that we elected here, that has really, year after year, election after election session, period, has brought us out from a lot of things repeatedly.
Yes.
Because we've hit the OECD list. And our legislators went and negotiated. They did what they had to do. They made the laws that was necessary and so on, In many instances, too, when you review the history, you see that sometimes we hit the list simply because of Great London, who's our fiercest financial competitor, or truth be spoken. So, yes. Now, the update on the judicial review. I was notified by my attorney this morning that we have received a response from the AG's office.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys were aware, but they had asked for an extension of time in December. And then in February, they asked for a further extension of time. And so this past Friday, they were able to provide a response. I have not had the chance to read it yet. It will be provided to me in full later on today. I will give the public an update on as far as I can go on that response. And I sit in a very precarious situation in that I am the public relations officer for the Christian Association for Civics, and it's these sort of things I'm supposed to be bringing to the public. But at the same time, I'm also aware of the Code of Conduct for Lawyers, and and I'm also aware of the Sub Judice Convention. And so while I have a desire to share as much as possible,
yes,
I am still restricted in what I can share because I have to do that very delicate balance with being a petitioner before the court, being a lawyer, and then still wanting to inform the public.
Okay.
So as much as I can, I will provide that information in due course.
Okay, so that we won't have to interrupt you. We'll take the commercial break now, and this way we'll give you that continuous train of thought once you start speaking. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today with Miss Katina Anglin and also Mr. Michael McLaughlin will continue. So please stay tuned. Don't change that dial.
At Subway, we know a meal isn't quite complete without a side, and that's why we're introducing waffle fries. Subway's waffle fries are oven-baked softness with extra crispy edge, giving a satisfying taste to be enjoyed as is or in any of Subway's dipping sauces. Order waffle fries as a side item for $2 or make it a meal deal with any sandwich or salad with a 20-ounce drink and waffle fries for an additional $3 or a 30-ounce or bottle drink and waffle fries for an additional $3.50. Subway, eat fresh.
Calling all gamers.
Practice play is over.
Get ready for 2 days of
non-stop competition, fun, and excitement.
NetGeeks Media is proud to present
the return of the Caribbean's #1 esports event and gaming convention,
Gamers Bay 5. Now celebrating our 5th anniversary, Gamers Bay is going down March 27th and 28th at the John Gray Gymnasium.
If you think you have what it takes, you can compete for over $10,000 in cash and prizes. Compete head-to-head in titles such as Fortnite, Super Smash Bros., Call of Duty Cold War, and FIFA 20.
See and try the latest game consoles and virtual reality headsets. Lots of free play for PC gamers, console gamers, and VR of all ages.
Special guest influencers will be in attendance.
For more information and to register yourself or a team, visit GamersBayCayman.com.
Proudly sponsored by NetGeeks Media, Domino's, Pepsi, Enterprise Cayman, C3 Pure Fiber, Department of Tourism, Ministry of Education, Youth Services Unit, Kimpton Seafire, Radio Cayman, Simply Computers, and Suzuki.
Speak up at the polls this general election, April 14th, 2021.
Do the right thing. Exercise your democratic right and vote. A public service announcement from your number one community station, Radio Cayman.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to For the Record. My name is Art Connor, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. To talk today, sorry.
For the record, let's talk today.
Freudian slip. Welcome to Talk Today. In the studio with me, Mr. Michael McLaughlin. Of course, we're talking with Ms. Katina Anglin from the Cayman Islands Civic Association. Ms. Anglin, over to you.
Thank you. It's the Christian Association for Civics.
Yes.
But Dwayne had quite a few practice runs before he got it right too. So you're doing a great job. So let me do an update also on the stipendiary positions that I had offered last time, and that is that the administrative position is still available, but the website maintenance has been filled. So anyone who would like to get some information about the administrative posts should send an email to caymanchristiancivics@gmail.com, caymanchristiancivics@gmail.com. This afternoon, shoutouts goes to Bishop Sykes, Pastor Morris, Dr. Pearline Donalds, Mike out there in East End, I love you, bro, Miss Christine P. in Georgetown, Lois in West Bay, Bonnie in West Bay, to Christiane in Savannah, and of course, Mr. George, you're out there in Bordentown. God bless all of you today. Today's recommended websites are the Christian Association for Civics at www.christian.ky. It's really easy to remember, christian.ky. The second recommended site is Christian Lawmakers at www.christianlawmakers.com. Just earlier when we were speaking and you were talking about the topic for today, engaging your candidates.
Yes.
I am going to go through the list of ways that an elector can engage their candidate. They can go out to their public meetings and tune into their debates. Some of these will be happening later on. I'm not sure exactly how Chamber of Commerce will host all of them this year, but Chamber of Commerce has been very instrumental in these panel discussions.
Yes.
Go there. At the end of the session, you may have the chance to speak with the candidate for your constituency and say, this is the answer that you gave. Can you expand on that a little bit for me, please? Because I didn't get it quite right. I don't think I got it right. You know? And in some instances, too, you may hope that you didn't get it right. Listen to the radio broadcasts of their meetings or debates if you can't attend in person. Yes. For those of us who have the capacity to, there's also YouTube and Facebook.
Sure.
I have a couple that I need to catch up on Facebook. But I'm very grateful that there's greater convenience now for being able to assess the candidates, because before it wasn't available to us. So if you missed the meeting, you were dependent on the guy next door to you.
And their version
of the events, right. You know how that go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Mile Road talk. Okay. When candidates are on the talk shows, presenting their views on matters, and they're giving you their political spiel, tune in.
Yes.
Take notes of what it is that they're saying. Invite your friends also that are in the constituency to tune in as well.
Yes.
If that political candidate is running with a party or associated with other members,
Yes.
you want to contact your friends that you know are in other constituencies
Yes.
with whom he's associated with that political candidate as well. Because they if they're running in association, some say, oh, well, I'm not a part of a party, I'm an independent. So if 4 of you are independent standing on the same platform, you're in association.
Yes, in one form.
In one form, you are in an association, right?
Absolutely.
So we all need to know who the associates are and what their views are, and it's just good civic duty to bring it to your
Educating
your
yourself.
neighbors, yeah,
and trying to help your neighbors to do
to
the
make
same.
wise decisions,
Yes.
right? Read their manifestos. Their manifestos are their legally binding mandates. That's why when the CPR fiasco came up in 2019, they could refer back and say, but hold on, we have this mandate.
Yes.
We put it out there to the public. The public voted for us
Yes.
on this manifesto.
Yes.
Read their manifestos. Be sure of what you see on the manifestos. A lot of times, big language is used to confound the fool. Okay? Keep it dumb. You need to ask questions about words that you don't understand. We're going to speak about language on the next show.
Yes.
But there's so much opportunity between now and the next show for you to be able to engage with your candidates that it would be negligent of me to not share this information
Add
now.
this down, yeah.
Whatever words you don't understand as an electorate, your candidate has the responsibility to define that for you.
To break it down.
And
To
if you're a
break
good-
it down.
If you're a good candidate, you speak in plain
Language so you
that people
understand.
can understand.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. They see, when we go back to the slavery days, right? The slavery mentality. Remember, we had this thing that he's an educated man because he spoke that language.
Yes.
Unfortunately, today, so many of us still live with that slave's mentality. A person is a good man because he's educated.
Or how they
I'm not mispronouncing
Gift of
that. That
gab.
is, that's the Caymanian way of saying it. You're educated, right? He educated, right? And we still live by that. But what exactly is he saying to you? Because he could be telling you the truth that he's not up for your best interest.
Yes.
And it's plain English, well, plain to him, English, right? What exactly is he saying to you? You need to be sure of this.
Yes.
And it's not dumb of you. You're not asking a dumb question when you're saying, I don't understand what you meant. When you said this, I don't understand the language that you use.
Correct.
And as you said just now, OC, a good candidate going to put it out there in plain language for you anyway. Arrange to meet with the candidates for your constituency and ask them about matters that are important to you. Believe it or not, they're not gods, and they are anxious to hear from you. They need to hear from you.
They need to. I was just about to say that.
Exactly. They
They
need to
hear
hear about the matters that concern you.
Yes.
If we all, as a society, let's say the 3 of us lived in one community, in one
Yes.
constituency.
Yes.
And the same problem that was affecting me is affecting the other 2 of you. And in conversation, we found out that we were sharing the same problem. And I said, well, I can tell Sue about this. She's our constituent, constituency candidate.
Yes.
They're able to look at it and say, but 100% of the people in that community is affected by the same problem. What solutions can I come up with
Right.
that would help to rectify this
Alleviate.
problem?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because sometimes it's a partnership between the political candidate and the member of the constituency joined together in a partnership to fix it. Plenty of times it is only that they are able to help us to fix it, not that it is within their power to fix it.
Yes.
And this is an illusion that we have as electorate,
Yes.
is that, well, it's the government's responsibility to fix this problem, it's the government responsibility to fix that problem, and so on. We as candidates have a responsibility to our communities.
Yes.
To engage in our communities. And if that includes, as we were talking about earlier, engaging the political representative so that he can utilize his office to help us fix the problem.
Yes.
But we should be playing our citizen role as well. I remember when we used to go out and we used to pick up the garbage on the roadsides. You know why? Because it was garbage and it was our community, and we did it
Yes,
for
and
no
we
other
cared about
reason
it.
than that.
We cared about it.
We cared about it, right?
Yes.
We cared about our environment, about our community. We also we helped the lady across the road to rake up her yard, and we helped to fix the fence. We didn't say government need to come and fix that woman's fence because she's 80 years old and independent of government. We said, and Sue over there needs her fence fixed. Go so call OC and Mike and tell him must come and help me fix this fence.
Yeah, we all going to meet there on Saturday.
We're going to meet there.
Time.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Okay. And then let me extend an offer of help to the community. You can call us up at Christian Association for Civics with any questions you have about decision makings. We are also human beings.
Sure.
We understand that there's a political process to be navigated through. We understand that it's a very daunting process. And that even if a political candidate explains a certain thing to you, you may still have other questions about it.
Okay.
You want a total unbiased opinion on what he said. Who can give you that?
Yes.
Well, we only here to guide you in making the right decision.
Right. Not to influence it
Not
in one way or another.
Not to influence you in any which way, but to provide you the information for you to make a sound decision.
Okay, well, let's give folks right now what that number is that they should call.
That number is 922-6644.
Okay.
922-6644. And if you can send us an email, it is at caymanchristiancivics@gmail.com. caymanchristiancivics@gmail.com.
Okay.
Now, most importantly is before doing anything, you should commit all of your efforts to the Lord that you may be successful. Nothing happens on this earth without the permission of God. When he called the angels together, and he even Satan had to show up that day or that night, whatever time it was, and he said, well, where were you? He said, going back and forth across the earth. God said, have you considered my servant Job? He said, yeah. Two of them got into this discussion. God said, well, okay, you can go ahead and you can take everything from him, but you can't touch him. When tragedy hit Job, Job did not see with his natural eye that God had actually permitted Satan to take it all from him. But until that moment, by Satan's own acknowledgement, he said, the only reason why I can't touch him is because you don't let me do so. Right? Give me permission and I'll show you. So nothing on this earth happens without God's permission.
Yes.
I mean, we must seek God's guidance in all things. All that I have shared today. You may look at a candidate for the next however many weeks between now and the election. 4?
I think we have
5.
Is it something like 36 days left? Yeah.
Wow.
And you could get up on the morning of election. Polls open at 6. At 5:30, having prayed to God, and God says to you, vote for Mike, not for OC. Right? That is the discernment that you prayed for. That is the direction that you get. Okay? Commit all that you do.
Even though prior to that, you may have been considering all along that
voting for
OC was your candidate.
Yes. And you were there to that point, and then you got out that morning, and God said, no, vote for Mike instead. So, I'm here to provide you with some guidance, but ultimately your guidance must come from the Lord God, strong and mighty.
Okay, and more of that guidance from Ms. Katina Anglin will be brought to you after this short commercial break. So please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean Bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Commencement at the University College of the Cayman Islands is being moved to spring in line with more traditional practices in other countries. The spring date will allow graduating students to be a part of the university's celebration of their accomplishments. UCCI's 2021 commencement ceremony
will be on Saturday, 24th April, 7:30 p.m. at the Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. Application deadline for graduating students to apply for graduation is on Friday, 12th March. For all the information on commencement and to access the graduation forms, visit www.ucci.edu.ky/graduation.
Tune in to Radio Cayman tonight starting at 7 p.m. for a paid political message by Mr. Makiva Bush, candidate in the upcoming election for the electoral district of West Bay West.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. My name is Art Connor, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks, assisting me as my co-host, Mr. Michael McLaughlin. And of course, we have in the studio with us the one and only Miss Katina Anglin.
Thank you.
Miss Anglin.
Thank you. And thank you all very much for being here again this afternoon in the spaces which God ordained for you to be at this time. God goody.
Mm-hmm. Always, every day.
Every day, every day. So earlier we spoke about some of the personalities some of the reasons why we vote according to our personalities, right? Yes. And we must remind ourselves as electorate, the proper way for us to be voting. And truthfully, we shouldn't be voting just for the familiarity or because somebody is a member of our family. What happens sometimes is as human beings, we just get kind of used to things, right?
Yes.
So I know Mike for all this time. Mike has run last election and the election before. Mm-hmm. Mike's what we call a good guy, quote unquote. So, I know he no harm to nobody. I'm going to vote for Mike.
With no other basis whatsoever, not reading manifesto, not attending any of the meetings, not listening to any of the discussions, based solely on that fact, whatever it is you think you know about Mike.
Yeah, I know this much. Mike is a good guy. All right? Or because Mike is family to me. Mm-hmm. No, Mike is in no way qualified and has proven himself perhaps in other posts that he's not qualified as a leader. Right. Or perhaps as a incumbent now, that he shouldn't be re-elected. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to vote for Mike because, as you can see, Mike got to be farm like you can just look at the stripes, right? Okay. But this is not good enough reasons.
Yes, I agree.
There's some familiarity when you say, I'm familiar with Mike. Mm. I am familiar with what Mike stands for, what he represents. Mm-hmm. I am familiar with what Mike has done in the community. Mm-hmm. I know that Mike has not always brought a motion to the House in every sitting of the House, mm-hmm. but I know that Mike is very, very engaged, and he's worked on the potholes in the road. Yes. Look at our community. We got all our fences fixed through community engagement and using our candidate. He has proven himself to be a community representative. Right, so that's your familiarity. That is a good familiarity for you to utilize. Okay. Then there's the alignment with personal views. Now, let's take myself for an example here.
Okay.
Let's take myself for an example here, and that is that I'm a Christian. So, do I want to elect a person simply because they are a Christian running for office? Mm-hmm. No, I want to do a little bit more assessment as well. I think we have a caller on the line.
Actually, two calls.
Okay.
Two callers.
I will stop for a moment.
Thank you. Let's go to the phone line. First caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, cool. You're not bad today at all. Everybody in that studio is my favorite person.
Oh, wow.
But I know I'm your favorite person.
Favorite test.
No. It's my Bible.
There you go.
I'm bringing it for you this evening. Okay.
Let me say, I'm voting
looking for honesty, integrity, morals, and in the Cayman context.
Okay.
Common sense.
Okay. Thank you. Those are some of the credentials that she has identified that she's looking for in a candidate.
But anyway, guys, have a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Okay, that caller's gone. So
Okay. So the third personality voter that we have is the one who does all the research. He's got to ask all the questions, and he's got to get all the history, and he wants to even know about, when your parents lived back in the United States in the 60s, what community programs were you involved in there, just saying.
Yes.
So this really is where we should start.
Okay.
We should start with researching our candidates. And that researching of our candidates may simply be also, as a starter, is reaching out and saying, hey, OC, I see this person here. What do you know about them for their education and experience?
Right. Seeking input from some other individual who you feel has a grasp on
the issue. And you see that's also a biblical perspective, because in Proverbs 11 and 14 it says, where there is no counsel the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So when a political candidate is out there and I don't seek some guidance and get some input and undertake my own research, right, from inanimate sources and from other human beings, I am capable of making a bad decision.
Yes.
So let us not be too proud to turn to our left or to our right and say to the persons around us, what can you tell me about that individual? Because your research will be in different ways.
Sure.
Your research and their contribution that may be made available online through the Compass or CNS or another one of those lobbyist sites. You may also know from having attended college with them or knowing that they went to college. Well, what did they master in?
Yes.
Yes. So do your research, and then you can add in the rest of the stuff as you go along.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have enough time to take another call before we finish?
Yes, we do.
Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hello.
Hello. Go right ahead.
Yeah, you're coming late on the phone, but see, it's Elvis here. Good evening, Mr. Anglin and Mr. McLaughlin.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm a candidate, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Being a Christian now, I live in West Bay, and I grew up in Georgetown, and I got a lot of friends in West Bay and a lot of farmland. Now, I bring in my platform with the ganja. It's an industry now we deal with, And you're quite aware that through the World Health Organization, they have pushed the United Nations to take it off of the dangerous drug list. You're quite aware of that, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, now, from a political point of view and a Christian point of view, I want to talk about this subject as a medicine and a recreation. Just like alcohol. Do you know that alcohol is used in a lot of medicine? You're aware of that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you know it's used for recreational?
Yes.
Okay? Now, I have seen what marijuana have done to all the local people. It gave them a police record and put them in the bushes that we're not enjoying they're not enjoying no success. Now we could start an industry and use it on rehabilitation for alcohol, whatever we need, and make a change in our country.
Okay, caller Miss Anglin has about 3 minutes left on the show, so we want to give her a chance for some closing comments. Just to wrap up for us, please.
Okay, I just want a point of view on that, and I'm going to hang up right now.
Okay,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for the
Thank you
call.
very much. Thank you very much.
I may have to express my point of view after I complete my program agenda,
Yes.
if time does allow.
Yes.
If not, it is a topic that I can speak about at another time.
Yes,
I did promise that I would not engage in political advocacy.
Yes.
So I have to give that some consideration as well.
Yeah.
And so I will reserve my input on that topic at this time.
Okay.
Continuing on with educating the elector about making good decisions.
Yes.
I think that we can agree that voters in this country have a very desperate view of the political sphere at this time, all that is going on in the country.
Yes.
And there is this sense of desperation and submission. They want to change, but they really feel very, very defeated. It's like, well, why should I vote again? Nothing has changed.
Yes.
Now, this is something that we have to break out of. Anyone else who you vote for, if you are dissatisfied with what you see now, then vote for someone else. If you're satisfied with what you see, then continue to vote for the individual who's in your constituency. We have the grave inconvenience in the one man, one vote system that if you see that neither are suitable for you, then you choose not to go vote.
Yes.
I would say to you, if that is the situation that you are in, critically evaluate both candidates. Contact the Southern Christian Association for
Or it may be more than two as well. You know, we have some
Right.
constituencies where there are more.
Yeah, and you may say none of these are suitable for me. I wanted to
Right.
vote for Mike down in West
Right.
Bay East.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But please go out and vote. In that instance, you're really looking to vote for what we would say the lesser of both evils, right? So I'm still going to encourage you to go vote, because somewhere in there you have the ability as an electorate, as a member of the electorate, to use your electoral power. Partner with other members in your community and say, listen, I don't like either one of the two of them. I think OC can give me a better representation over Mike. So let us go and make our views known to OC.
Yes.
OC, I didn't want to support you. I think you're the best of the two. I'm going to support you, but listen, let's get this thing straight. We need the potholes in this road fixed.
Yes.
And if you don't fix them, I'm going to vote you at the next election. OC, I
Yes.
don't like you, and I'm voting for you because I like
Well,
you.
even before it goes to the point of the next election, you should be making that candidate aware that you are going to be hounding them
Yes.
about those issues.
Yes.
Holding them
all
accountable.
throughout the
Because
next
you've
4
got
years
4 years
to fix the potholes.
of my whining, right,
You're-
to address the issue.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct.
Ms. Anglin,
Now
get-
I have
quick-
one
quick closing comments.
Yes. Okay. Vote early. Make sure it's your vote. Make sure nobody else with the same name as you has gets in there and votes in your place instead. It has
Early, but
happened in the past.
but not often.
just once. Just once. Now listen. Let me share the contact details with you.
Yes.
So visit our website at www.christian.ky.
Yes.
You can contact us on caymanchristiancivics@gmail.com or 922-6644. You can make a deposit so that I can continue to come on here and talk with you all and share some more knowledge with you. At Bank of Butterfield, account number 136-175-4980-015. OC, I can be watching for your deposit later. Yours too, Mike. Okay?
All right.
Cayman Islands, it was wonderful being in your presence again today. May the good Lord continue to bless you and keep you as you continue to pursue his kingdom and all its righteousness. God bless you, OC. God bless you, Mike.
Thank you.
God
Same
bless
to
you, boss.
Okay. Nice to have you. Pleasure having you on as
Thank
well.
you.
Folks, we're going to take, what do we have? The news, 1 o'clock news. When we return, we will be talking with officials from the Cayman Islands Crisis Center. So please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Department of Education Services announces the annual Intersecondary Athletes Competition on Thursday, 11th March, and Friday, 12th of March, at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Truman Bodden Sports Complex. Athletes from 12 public and private secondary schools comprising of 500 athletes will compete. In international news, Oprah Winfrey has said Prince Harry clarified it was neither the Queen nor the Duke of Edinburgh who questioned what his son's skin color would be. The revelation that a family member wondered how dark Archie's complexion might be came during a TV interview that aired overnight in the U.S. The Duchess of Sussex had described the remarks as a low point. A series of explosions on Sunday in Equatorial Guinea is now known to have killed 31 people, officials say. The number of those injured rose to 600. Officials blame badly stored dynamite along with stubble burning by nearby farmers. Switzerland has narrowly voted in favor of banning face coverings in public, including the burqa, worn by Muslim women. Official results showed the measure had passed by 51.2% to 48.8% in Sunday's referendum. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Getting vaccinated is an important part of keeping our islands protected against COVID-19. All persons who are scheduled to be vaccinated must present a photo ID which shows you are legally and ordinarily resident in the Cayman Islands or have permission to stay for 6 months or more. Accepted IDs include a Cayman Islands driver's license, passport or voter's card, a global citizen's certificate, a work permit grant letter, extension letter or job letter from a local company, or a non-Caymanian passport which shows the holder has been landed with permission to be on island for 6 months or more. Essential workers must also present their work ID to show proof of employer. Anyone who has already received a first dose may still receive the second and must show their vaccination card. For more information on the vaccine program, visit www.hsa.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It's my pleasure to have as my co-host this afternoon Mr. Michael McLaughlin. I am Art Connor, filling in or guest hosting for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Banks, and it is our pleasure to have in the studio with us this afternoon officials from the Cayman Islands Crisis Center. I'd like to welcome Ms. Dawn McLean Brady, who's the board chair of the Cayman Islands Crisis Center, Executive Director, Ms. Ania Milanowski, as well as the Outreach Coordinator for the Cayman Islands Crisis.
CICC Coordinator.
Coordinator.
Carol Ann Fordyce.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we had a slight change.
Yeah, we had a slight change there, so I better go to this one. Yes, Miss Carol Ann Fordyce. Miss Carol Ann Fordyce.
But Marisha is listening in.
Okay. And Marisha is listening. So, ladies, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here as well. Tell us what's happening in the Crisis Center. And I believe it would be useful to have a brief history of the Crisis Center, where you have come from, and of course we'll be talking about where you're going as well.
Absolutely. So today we're celebrating our 18-year anniversary, and it's kind of bittersweet because we wish we were able to eradicate domestic violence in our islands, and therefore we wouldn't have a need for the Crisis Center. However, I'm proud of our accomplishments and the service we've provided to our clients. So we have serviced over 1,200 women and children to date. Our mission is safe shelter to victims of domestic violence and their children. We have a 24/7 crisis helpline to anyone in distress. We have an aftercare support and counseling for former and current clients. We also educate the community on what family violence is, and we're also an advocate for the voiceless. So we believe that violence against women, men, or children should not be tolerated. And since we opened our doors, we've lived up to our mission each and every day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Anyone want to add anything to that?
Sure. I just would like to mention Estella Scott Roberts, because she's our founder, and I am every day, anytime I'm in a tough spot, I'm thinking about Estella, and I'm trying to fill her shoes as best as I can. But of course, I couldn't be able to do that without the support of the team that I have, and the board that is very, very compassionate and dedicated, and all our volunteers as well. And I have to mention here our fundraising committee and our marketing committee, because all those people, including the board members, they are all volunteers. They are giving their free time, and without them we would not be able to provide the services that we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Complete labor of love.
Yeah,
right?
It sure is.
A full circle. That's beautiful.
Okay.
That's
now,
beautiful.
when we look on your website, we see so many things there. We see emergency shelter, 24-hour crisis line, kids helpline, aftercare programs, the Taya Lounge, the volunteer program, the outreach programs that you have, children and youth programs, CAYP, and of course Estella's Place. So many variant things that are going on within the center.
Yeah, we do. We're quite busy. We have an in-suite shelter facility that is a refuge to our clients, and we expanded it in 2016 from 3 bedrooms to 5.
Excellent.
You mentioned Estella's Place. We opened that in 2016. So it's a public-facing service which offers counseling services for those at-risk family of violence. We opened the Kids Helpline in 2018 with the assistance of the UK National Crime Agency. Mm-hmm. The Taya Lounge, it's an after-school program for kids 12 to 17 who are at risk. And we have a very, like Anya mentioned, we have a very active board that's always advocating for new laws that improve outcomes for victims. So I've actually taken over chair June of last year. I've been on the board since 2005, and I have very big shoes to fill because Denise Powers was the previous chair, and she was there for 6.5 years as a chair.
Mm.
So we're very proud of our accomplishments to date, and I just want to thank each and every one of the board members. And in recognition of International Women's Day, we have 5 of the 9 board members are women. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to my vice chair, who's Regina Eklund, and then our 5 board members, Zena, Brooke, Lori, Regina, Sophie. So I just wanted to thank each and every one of them for all of their support, especially over the years. We couldn't be here without them. And then just a quick shout out to Anya. She's been with us for how long? It seems like forever.
Well, I started in 2008.
Yeah, it seems like forever. Yeah. So she's done an amazing job just being the leader of her team. So every day we think about, like she said, the shoes with Estella. Every day we think about just trying to make her proud and carrying on her legacy. And Anya has done such an amazing job at the shelter, so we're so proud of her and her team.
And we're going to ask Anya now to tell us about the new shelter.
Okay, so our shelter currently, as Don mentioned, is quite small. It's a residential home that was adopted into the shelter.
Okay.
And we have 26 beds in those 4 bedrooms. So, it's very crowded at times. And for example, in 2018, in December alone, we had 35 women and children in that shelter with 26 beds. So you can imagine. My girls are miracle workers because they made it work. They managed the shelter beautifully over that very busy period. But, we do recognize, the board and I, that we definitely need a purposely built shelter that, this woman can, you can imagine you coming from abusive home, you're leaving everything behind, no matter how bad it was, but you're going to a, strange place, and now you're trying to recover, you're trying to gain your strength, you're trying to, remove yourself from that abuse and move on with, just to live life free from abuse. and you have to do it while you're sharing your bedroom with 2 or 3 other families.
Yes.
It's very, very challenging. So that's why we definitely need a bigger facility, and the board is very, very hard at work on trying to make that happen. We have talks with different sponsors and different organizations, just trying to make it work. And we don't exactly know when we will be able to have that new shelter, but we are hoping that it's not going to be much longer, and we will be able to provide victims of domestic violence in Cayman a proper facility.
And the establishment and building of this facility, would that be a collaborative effort between the government and private organizations? How I know she did mention funding or talking with private sector organizations, but government as well?
Well, we're hoping. So if you're listening, Miss Teresa Echenike, we'd love to have your help. But yeah, we're looking for sponsors, and we hope it's a collaborative effort. Yes, indeed. So anybody that's interested, has any extra funds, we definitely love to hear from you, because we really want to make this happen for our clients.
And how has the COVID-19 situation affected the crisis center? Has it brought more pressure to bear on the center itself based on the pandemic?
I think, it's affected everyone, obviously. In terms of calls itself to the crisis line, we didn't really see a huge increase, to be honest. I think there are probably various reasons for that, because people are, stuck at home with their partners, so it's very difficult to then, make contact with us. What we did notice, though, was the Kids Helpline. The calls increased quite drastically during that time.
Oh, wow.
And that was from various aspects. Sometimes it was children, especially in the beginning, who were quite scared and didn't really understand fully what was going on and why they weren't going to school, why they couldn't see their friends. Yes. But also some of it was from parents themselves, who made contact with us, who were just really struggling, being in this situation and having children home all the time and not knowing what was happening. Funds were affected, jobs were affected. So we got a definite increase on the Kids Helpline during that particular period.
I also want to actually in this moment give a shout out to the Ministry of Community Affairs and to the government, because without their support we would not be able to provide shelter for our clients at that time. Because our quarters are so small, we were not able to do any isolation or anything like that. Yeah. So they were placed in the government facility, and we are very thankful for that.
Excellent. Yeah, Teresa Echenike was a star, and her service and support has been just, she's goes over and beyond. So just wanted to thank her as well.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we want to talk about some of the programs and services offered by the Crisis Center, as well as extending an invitation for the public to support your upcoming events that you will be talking about as well. So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Arnold Athelin Foster, 1893 to 1970. Mr. Cappy Foster married Agatha Van de Sande in Cayman Brac in 1915, and together they raised 8 children who, like their parents, contributed to the growth and success of the Cayman Islands. 2 sons chose a life of public service, Dennis as a chief secretary and Trevor as an MLA and member of Executive Council. Their other children have been successful business people who have created jobs for Caymanians and given much to their communities. Mr. Cappy was a devoted husband and father. He spent many hours farming and operating his bakery in Cayman Brac, and at one time managed a well-respected boatyard, Cayman Boats Limited, in Jamaica. He was an active member and deacon of Ebenezer Baptist Church at the Creek. His love for God, family, and country were an example for others to follow. One of Mr. Cappy's many contributions was as a founder of Cayman Brac Power and Light Company. In recognition of his service, he was requested by the government to represent Cayman Brac at a reception for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in Jamaica in 1953.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
Freedom, Cayman Brac. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Joined by Mr. Michael McLaughlin, who's my co-host. I'm filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we're talking with officials from the Cayman Islands Crisis Center. We're now going to talk about the programs and services offered by the Crisis Center, and we will transition from that right into inviting people and telling them how they can support the Crisis Center as well. Let's go to programs first.
Okay, so we have various programs. The shelter, as we've already talked about, and it is the only shelter for women and children across all three islands. We also have our walk-in centre, so that's based in Estella's Place. So this is for men, women and children. They can access this service. And it's really for people who are affected by domestic violence but don't necessarily need the shelter. So they just maybe need someone to talk to, information on where to go, what their options are, some safety planning, lots of different things. Also in Estella's Place, we have the Taya Lounge, which is for teens and young adults. That's for 14 to 21-year-olds. So that runs from a Tuesday to a Friday from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. And that's just giving support to people, young people who are at risk, and helping them build some life skills and, move on. We do lots of interviewing, techniques and things like that. The Kids Helpline, as we've mentioned, is also run from Estella's Place, and that's growing as well, and we're now going to be partnering alongside the Alex Panton Foundation.
Okay.
So we're expanding that service, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And we have lots of outreach services as well. We have an outreach coordinator who will go out and help raise awareness, talk to different groups,
Excellent.
just give information. And I think that's, such an important thing. It's about keeping that awareness, letting people know this is still an issue. It's not going away at the moment. And we need all the support that we can get.
Okay. Anyone wants to add anything to that, Ms. Dawn?
I just would like to quickly add that until 2016, all those programs, we didn't have Kids Helpline and Taya Lounge because those are very new, but all the other programs that we offer were actually run from our shelter, from the same building as the shelter. And because of confidentiality and safety of the clients, we were very limited to how we could deliver them to the community. Our volunteer program was very weak. At that time, we couldn't, entertain the volunteers. We couldn't train them. We couldn't see them on a daily basis. So it was very challenging. But in 2016, we were lucky enough to find a new offices, walk-in offices, Estella's Place on Eastern Avenue. And I have to say a huge thank you to Mr. Boden. And I always repeat that he, when we talked about rent, of course I was
and that's Mr.
Bobby
Boden.
Yeah, Bobby Boden. Yes, I was asking him for, for giving us a discount, and it's charity, And he not only did that, but he also increased our square footage.
Oh, wow.
And then he lowered the rent. So, I don't know what kind of businessman he is.
Win-win. A charitable one. He's a charitable businessman. Exactly.
Good corporate citizen.
Exactly.
Yes. So this is something that we are very, very grateful to him for. And since 2016, we were able to, start developing all these services like Taya Lounge and Kids Helpline, and having that walk-in office, like Caroline mentioned, for people who might not necessarily need a shelter, and also for male victims of abuse who can come now to us and see us. And this is a training facility for volunteers, and it's just we are very, very blessed that we have those two locations right now.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yes. Okay, and how can the public support? How can individuals like myself and Michael or organizations support your organization?
Well, if you're interested, you can email us to info@cicc.ky and let us know what you're interested in, and we'll sure have some dialogue with you on what our needs are and what sort of skill sets you have in order to help us. So we'd be interested in hearing from anyone. info@cicc.ky.
Excellent.
There's one board member, female, that I forgot. I have to blame it on old age. Zena, please forgive me, old age. So I just wanted to thank her because she's one of the longest serving members as well.
Excellent.
Okay. Upcoming events?
Yeah, we have Power of the Purse. It's on the 26th of March at the Ritz-Carlton. The keynote speaker is Liz Murray. The cost of individual tickets is $225. Or a table, you can sponsor an entire table, which we'd love for you to do. We've sold about 380 tickets so far out of 500, and it's only 2 weeks away, as you can tell. So we're excited. So please, anyone that hasn't gotten tickets, they're going fast. Please contact us, info@cicc.ky, and we'll put you on to our marketing person that's handling the event.
And what is Power of the Purse? What is it about?
Oh, it's empowering women. So we have keynote speakers that talk about their journey. Okay. And a lot of times, we resonate with their stories. So it really is just women talking about their journey, how they started and where they are today and the success they've had, along the way.
Excellent.
So this year we have Liz Murray, and we're so excited to have her. Excellent. So the next event we have is Walk in Her Shoes. That's on the 22nd of April in Cayman Bay and Market Street. So we're hoping you guys will participate as well, Mr. Osi.
I think I know what that one is about. I think I've seen that one advertised before. Yes.
You haven't done it yet, Osi?
You haven't done it? We're encouraging you to do it.
You need to go and do it, man.
But
it gives you a different perspective, trust me.
I have some cycling shoes that are very difficult to walk in when I'm not on the bike, so I can imagine what it's like.
Yes.
Oh, I don't think you can imagine, sir. You have to go there to really find out.
Yes.
And I've been there.
Yes, you have.
It's very amusing to watch, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who come out to support and just see those who are so brave to put on the shoes and actually do it. And something just occurred to me. I don't know if maybe while they're there supporting, there's an opportunity for you to walk around with a little donation bottle and have people put in donations while they're enjoying at the expense of others.
Yeah.
Good
idea.
I didn't see anybody that wasn't laughing at those of us who were walking in the shoes.
Yeah.
Everybody was obviously very entertained, so they should pay a little.
And we make light of it, right?
Offering.
We make
of
light
course
of it.
we do.
But it's a serious issue
serious
to just take a walk in someone's shoes that's encountered domestic violence. So, we make light of it just because, but it really is a serious issue. And we thank everyone that sponsors us and participates, because it is very serious to us and we're passionate about it. So
absolutely.
So we appreciate. So we hope to see you both out there.
And if you don't have shoes, that's not a problem. We have some shoes.
That's right.
There's no excuse.
It was interesting the last time I participated. The amount of men that were showing up at like the Humane Society thrift shop and stuff that were looking for women's shoes. And when I walked in, the lady just kind of looked at me. She goes, "Women's shoes?" I said, "Yeah." She'd obviously seen a few prior to me showing up.
But some of these men who work in hills, they actually put us to shame.
I know.
They have
It's
such
a little,
great skills. I'm like, wow.
It's a little scary how well they do.
And how much they enjoy it as well. Some of them enjoy it just a little bit too much.
It is
while we still have a little bit of time, and before you go back to thanking your major sponsors and everything, I'd like to just go back to the shelter, the new shelter, and to see how far you are with it, and when would you love to have something
today
done? I know. I knew
yesterday.
Yeah.
We're actually looking for land. We're looking for
excellent,
like a piece of land that that's big enough to accommodate our vision.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we're at now, is looking for land, any land that government may have, or anybody that's willing to sort of work with us on the land. So that's
the geographic location would be where
preferably in town, because it would be difficult for our residents, our shelter residents, to get to it either in the Eastern District or in West Bay. So preferably in town, but beggars can't be choosers. So wherever we get a nice piece of land, we'll have to take it, but we'd prefer in town.
And of course, with the land, one of the options are if it is government owned, you can go through a lease process. Like, for instance, I was involved with the Scouts, and we have a lease on our Scout headquarters, 33 years, renewable for another 33 years and another 33. So you get your total of 99
trust me,
years.
we know all about that.
Okay,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
Good,
so our
good,
shelter right now
so,
is belongs to the government. So
right.
we're leasing from them the building for the shelter right now.
And is it possible to expand on that one in terms of going higher, or that would be more costly than building a new one?
I mean, I guess we could expand, but it's not really kind of within the vision that we have. We kind of want to have a little more space, kind of go a little more green, kind of, maybe do, a little farm or something to keep everybody busy. So it's not, that area is not necessarily conducive.
And we only have 2 bathrooms over there at this time. So, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And being a non-profit, while you don't fall under any particular ministry, you may have performance agreements with the ministries, or is that the case with the Crisis Center?
We are with the Ministry of Community Affairs.
Okay.
Yes.
So you fall on. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. I want to give you an opportunity for closing comments and recognition of your sponsors and everything.
Yeah. Yep. So the sponsors that have been with us over the years that have contributed over $50,000 or more is obviously the Cayman Islands government, HFC, CI Angling Club, Ritz-Carlton, Maples, Appleby, Highwater, Scotiabank, EY Cayman Limited, Walkers, Greenlight Re, Campbell's, Island Heritage, Rotary Clubs, All Foundation, Integrity IT Services, just to name a few.
Wow.
So we have a lot more.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And I just would like to give a quick shout out to Jason from Integrity, because he contacted us in 2002. Was it 12 or 13?
12, I think it was 12.
It was a very long time ago. I think he's with us for 10 years now, and all the IT services Integrity delivers are free of charge.
Excellent.
I'm getting invoices every month, and they say total zero.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, Jason.
Michael, you have any questions or anything, observations before we go?
I'm stumbling in terms of trying to come up with something, and the only thing that keeps coming back to me is using something like a visionary board in terms of setting up your building, and hopefully when you have something like that, the more people you introduce to it, sponsors or whomever, they will help to bring it all to reality as
speak it into existence.
Speak it into existence. There you go. I think it's so important.
I can already see how you could help us.
Yeah.
I would like to be a volunteer, please.
You're going to be voluntold soon.
Voluntold. I like that. I haven't heard that one before. Excellent. I think it's all fantastic, especially the work that you're doing. I think it is so vital and important, because often the case, I noticed that you said that there are some board members who are not female, and I think that's vital.
Oh, definitely.
Also.
We want to thank them as well.
But,
David, Ed, and Clayton We haven't forgotten you three guys either.
Excellent.
And we haven't forgotten Len Lehman, who you might know.
The previous
Len is
board.
actually, he was on the board since day one, and he was our chair for until 2015.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
for 12 years, Len was the chair
driving
of the board.
force. Yes. Beautiful. Well, congratulations on your 18th
And he's still
anniversary.
helping. He's still helping behind the scenes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yep. Congratulations again, and thanks really for the work that that you do. Things don't get any easier here or anywhere else. You know, more and more demands are placed on the various services that you provide, and extremely grateful for the service that you provide.
Thank you so much.
And I would like to wish all the women all the best, because today is the International Women's Day.
Women's Day.
So be strong, be supportive, be confident, empower one another, and all the best to you.
And choose the challenge. Today's
choose the challenge.
That's right. Hashtag. That's the theme, right?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Thank you
all
so
very much. Thank you very much, folks. Please stay tuned. Talk Today will continue after the short commercial break.
Now you'll never have to choose between two desserts at Subway. The new caramel brownie cookie is 2 treats in 1. Imagine sweet, gooey caramel with decadent chocolate chunks baked in brownie-flavored dough and topped with a light drizzle of caramel icing. And you have the new caramel brownie cookie, available at Subway. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious caramel brownie cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert. Available at all Subway locations. Subway, eat fresh.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
So, Gianna, how often have you been flossing? I see. And are you still working over at the daycare? Okay. How are your boys doing? Right. Now you just tell me if this hurts.
With 99% of medical claims paid in under 5 days, we're like a dentist that doesn't try to talk to you with your mouth full.
That's a doozy.
CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that.
And now, a paid political message from West Bay West candidate, Mr. Mario Ebanks.
Do you want ethical and effective leadership? Do you want a member of parliament with a servant's heart who is always trustworthy? Do you want someone who is seasoned, energetic, and prepared for the challenges ahead? West Bay West, on 14th of April, please vote for Mario Ebanks. Together, we can restore dignity, build better communities, and achieve positive change. It's time, West Bay West. It's time.
The proceeding was a paid political message by West Bay West candidate, Mr. Mario Ebanks.
Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman advises holders of permanent residency PR facilities to take immediate steps to settle any outstanding fees to avoid potential loss of this facility. Fees more than 90 days past due date should be paid immediately. Payments can be made via debit or credit cards, online payment using the Work Payment Portal, or via checks delivered to the Apollo House West Office on Mary Street. For PR holders needing further assistance, call Work Customer Care at 945-9672.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk today.
but I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. No guest in the studio now. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me, though, my co-host, Mr. Michael McLaughlin. And my name is Art Connor, and I'm filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks this afternoon. I believe we do have a caller, so let's go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good man, good. But nice, beautiful. Mr. OC, right? Different, different, how I see life in reality, right? Time is a concept or essence, now I see life, right? And my uncle, I was McKeever running the Brock, came back east, little came on, right? And this one I call in, right? In the West candidate, right? I suggested the herb topic.
Yes.
Right? Nothing particular about that, right? But it's OC. Just give me 2 minutes fast, right? Give me 2 minutes.
Sure. Take your time. You have time.
2007, 14 years ago, I spent $150 for a draw, right? $500 for the cigarette paper, Blueberry Rizzler, right? $50 residue on my scissors, and $500 for the draw on the hair, right? And I told the judge, she said, she showed him a lie. I tell her, when that free up, how can you be apologetic to me towards that? And reimbursement by money. You saw where I'm coming from? So, right now, I get the point now. Right now, the whole world, the whole periphery, the boundary, by the second, regional, international, the herb freeing up. Came on, we left behind. Right? You recall the bootleg with Al Capone?
Yeah.
You had to do something. You had to do a cause. You had to free that. You understand? You had to free that. So, tobacco, emphysema, right? Heart rate. Each can have a cigarette stick. It's OC. 6 minutes left gone. Right? They're not like skills in school now. So, second smoke, the cigarette, passing smoke, that's more hazardous. So I don't want to came on now. I recall Mr. OC, I recall when we had the oppositions 2 years ago, I called in right on Friday morning. They go around in the Katabu. Mr. OC, I see this as a reality, a diaphragm. Your lungs inhale, exhale, a reality. So came on the week up for the coffee. Right? You see what's going on with the UK now? What about the Queen, the skin tone of the grandchild?
Oh, yes, the interview with
Megan.
Yeah.
Megan. That little petty things there. And that petty. Came on for the coffee. This is what would be.
Okay, but before you go, Rambo, you still there?
Yeah, right here, man.
Before you go, in terms of drug legalization in the Cayman Islands, are you advocating to go straight to legalizing, or take some gradual steps in terms of decriminalizing small quantities at first and taking those incremental steps till we see where the society is at in terms of the acceptance of legalizing ganja?
Like a year or two ago, right, I was saying we should go decriminalize, right? Right now, I fed up now. We got to legalize that to the max because, right, no more scared of the drug. Listen, Mr. OC, narcotics is lethal. It's narcotics now. You understand? Opium, the Popeye, opium, right? You understand?
Yep.
Iraq and Afghanistan. You understand? The drugs there. Something hard. They got hard drugs now. You understand? And the marijuana, that's a petty. That's a herb, a flower. Simple.
Okay. Let's see if Mr. Michael has any question for you. Michael, anything?
No, I mean I'm listening to what he's saying, and if I'm understanding correctly, your position is that you just wanted completely legalized. It doesn't matter not taking any small steps, but to just make that big jump to making it legal and allow people to figure out their way in through society as to how much, how little it should be used. That's correct?
Correct, precisely.
Okay.
But Mr. Michael, different there, right? He came out later, right? Despite what kind of occupation, people use the herbs, right? That's nada.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Okay, man, no, they like how they can ride, they like to put it down. Oh, he's a weed head, he's a pot head.
Yes.
Yeah, that foolishness, but you understand?
Yes. No, I agree with you. I am aware of people who hold very significant positions that enjoy, for the want of a term, the use of marijuana. So I agree with you that there's a lot of stigmatism that is put on people who consume that I don't feel is correctly placed.
I see. I born here, right? I born in 1984, right? And the Concord land here, like a day or two before, where I born, right? And see something is OC, Mr. Michael, tell you something. He came on, right? I see some woman. Oh, don't do him. He's a weed head. Who the baby father is worse than me. Same partner, look at that. Little petty things. Right?
Yes.
We really got to step up above the horizon. Go for Elvis Mickey Bot number 2. About East.
Okay.
Thank
you very much for the call.
Thank you
Appreciate
very much.
it.
I believe we have another caller, Michael.
Okay,
Let's grab the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
If I could have one day that I don't have to hear about the weed, I am one of them that faces all the stigma. Tell the young man he must look around him and see how many families are broken. The bush, and they have brilliant minds, but just not the ability to use them after they get introduced to the brilliant bush. Oh God! And I saw the valedictorian. You know who that is? Elvis. Hello Elvis. Oh guys, come off it. Find something better to do with your time. Stop destroying the families. The families of this country, the poor people, not the top notch. They don't suffer much from it, you know. They go home and they lock up somebody, bring it from. They go home and they lock up and they get half and they go sleep. But the poor little sufferers out there scuffling from point A to point B must get some, ends up in jail, and you don't deserve a criminal record. You do. You broke the law. Anybody else that breaks the law expects a criminal record. Once they get caught and convicted, it's just that the people who, frequent themselves down certain lanes and make certain purchases don't think that's okay, that they break the law. But everybody must understand that they shouldn't end up with criminal records. Yes, you will. Need to find something else to do with your time, because not many of you are stupid. You just pretend to be stupid, and your stupid argument. You're brilliant enough to find things to do with that brilliant mind that you all have. Go find something to do and stop destroying people's families, mine being one of them. And I'm not going to change my attitude, and I'm not going to change my position. Stop destroying the Cayman families, because we are the ones that are being affected by this. Like I said, the top-notch people, they go home and they lock up in their gated communities. They do their thing. They open their gate. They get their supply. They don't come out on the road peddling it no way but the place.
Or burglarizing residences to get money or valuables to trade for it.
Nothing like that. Them people, they got a network set up. They're doing good. Everybody, mine like to tell me, everybody doing it, but they do it in a different way. You're the little criminal. Anyway, guys, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much. We have 2 more callers queued up. We have to take a commercial break. Don't hang the phone up. Hold on there. As soon as we return from this quick commercial break, we will take those callers that are on hold. So please stay tuned for the Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Things just got a bit hotter on Island. Come in today and order the new spicy Korean subs at Subway. They're sweet, spicy, and especially satisfying. Stop in and try the pulled pork with spicy Korean sauce, or the chicken with spicy Korean sauce. And you can message WhatsApp at 929-4658. Order online or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. The spicy Korean subs at Subway in 2 flavors, extra saucy and extra spicy. Subway, eat fresh.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of planned works to upgrade the water supply infrastructure along Anthony Drive between the Smith Road and Andy Drive intersections. Works will begin on Monday, 8th February, and the project will last 6 to 8 weeks. Through the course of the work, customers in the area may experience service outages. The authority makes every effort to give advance notice related to outages. Customers can also visit our website www.waterauthority.ky for updates or tune into Radio Cayman for outage notices. Motorists are advised to avoid driving in the area between 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. weekdays during the works. If motorists must use the road, they are encouraged to drive with caution and follow all traffic signs to ensure their and the authority's staff's safety. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it undertakes these works and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman will be holding a prostate and colon cancer awareness meeting at the Webster United Memorial Church Hall in Bodden Town on Monday, 8th March, starting at 7 p.m. Free PSA testing will be available along with a presentation by guest speaker, Dr. Solomon. For more information on prostate and colon cancer awareness, join the Lions Club of Grand Cayman on Monday, March 8th, 7 p.m. at Webster United Memorial Church Hall in Bodden Town.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vant Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vantmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We're going straight to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, let me see. I'll call back again, Rambo again. I'll call back again.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in a border cell now. I'm a big man cell now, right?
Yeah.
And listen, whoever get traumatized from a bad history, right? Because the hard to keep down, the hard to came on now. They let put you down, right? You understand? Stereotype, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. OC, 5 years ago, CPS, Central Position, narcotics were missing, possible ammunition too. You didn't hear nothing about that. But out the win, right? Open sesame, right? Cut down arms. Close up CCTV. Open sesame, hear about that. Out the win.
Yeah.
Right? So, but now came on this now. We, Mr. OC, we didn't know. We the Cayman people. We need to face the music and reality. Right? The start of the day is gone, donkey day is gone. They're gone. Out the win, they're gone.
Yeah.
You understand? So we can modernize ourselves, Caymanize the place, modernize ourselves, and do with serenity.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Mr. OC, have a good day. Cool.
You too, sir. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
That was one of the things that I was discussing with Mr. OC during the break just now, is that I think it's vital that everybody has their opinion on whatever side of the coin it may fall. And that is so important to society, that people are allowed to speak what they feel about each subject, even though persons may not agree. It is absolutely vital for us to have a healthy community in that these discussions can take place, and not say that one is more right than the other, but recognize the opportunity to disagree and have your points as to why you disagree.
And hear each other out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, next caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
OC.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Elvis.
Yes, Mr. Elvis.
Good, sir. Okay. Now, I noticed the lady that every time I call in about this weed, she calls running me down with my brilliant mind, and I would thank her for that very much. But she's saying now, let me understand this through my brilliant mind that is smoking marijuana every day, each and every day. That by me trying to legalize ganja in Cayman, to start an industry in Cayman for Caymanian, medicinal and recreational, I am destroying her family, her grandchildren. But the boss that...
No, I don't think that she's saying that you are destroying it. She's talking to about the effects of the drugs, the use of it, that she has seen destroy members of her family.
Well, okay. Look, I interpret it that way.
Okay.
And now I want her to tell me this, and all of the candidates, not just the lady, because I respect her to the max. When the ganja come from Jamaica, the guns come from Jamaica, the cocaine come from Jamaica, the heroin, everything that under the sun supply and demand. So, if you do think that we should grow our own ganja to stop that, because remember,
I'm not sure that it will stop. I'm not sure that it will stop it. It may discourage persons from having to import it, but I'm not sure that it will stop it, because at the end of the day, the market forces will prevail just like any other commercial industry.
Yeah, but okay, well, see, let's put it this way. The police power that they're putting now on chasing down the Caymanians for a little bit of ganja.
Mm-hmm.
If we put all that resources, all that we spending in prison for the people for ganja, we could do a hell of a lot better in securing our borders. That money could go into education. If you don't want the kids to smoke it, educate them about it. Educate them about all the drugs, but educate them about the benefit. And right now, marijuana is not a drug. Not on the what? The same people that tell you take the vaccine for COVID, they fought and they got it off of the hard drug list. So as we speak, also you know this, marijuana is not considered under the United Nations as a hard drug.
Mm-hmm.
Clean and simple. And anybody that do support, especially the candidates, and I'm not putting this back, I am preaching this, that we grow our own weed. You are into the smuggling and the drug business. You don't want your Caymanian farmers to get into it. Clean, straight, simple. Back down for no guy. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much. Paul, do we have another caller on hold? Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good. OC, could you tell me what's on the list next for this island? This ganja so becomes legal here in this island. What is on the list next? You have just started about everything that everybody wants on this island.
Uh-huh.
What is next? Have you heard of anything else on the list to come after this?
No, but I'm sure there'll be something else coming down the pipeline.
We waste so much time and energy on a daily basis in our lives on the radio, but we're not talking about when it comes to trying to grow some food, knowing the way things are going in the rest of the world. Today we just keep depending on the rest of the world for everything, but yet we wanted to put a ganja farm, and I don't know how much of that can feed you and how much can you survive from it. And the kids are already exposed to this kind of thing. And we you know, as far as I'm concerned, we just need to sit back and leave this thing alone. And if it works out in years to come, let it be. But it shouldn't be not on the forefront to be fighting for on a weekly and daily basis on the radios. And there's so many people here need help in every capacity. And why is this all about ganja? We need to go plant some food. We need to go around to our neighbors and see how we can help our neighbors instead of trying to come out here about ganja. You know what's going to be next after ganja? I know we probably got it all here done, cocaine and this one and that one. Everybody get it, community people to get us order days and have days come into their yards and deliver and go by their business. Well, let me tell you something. These are the ones that are hanging around the street here. It's a shame to see that we got that happening in such a small island, going around begging visitors when it comes to the island for $1 here and there to buy a beer and to buy a ganja stick. Cayman is too small to have such a thing going on in this island. That we are the main source of income is tourism and banking. Come on, people, come on, wake up. This is the Cayman Islands. Why can't we still be different from the rest of the world? Thank you, OC.
Okay, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
I think actually on that note, it's a good opportunity to shift gears and talk about something different for a bit. And she mentioned about, I believe Ms. Elvis mentioned about the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that is on a lot of people's minds and talking about. And one of the questions that we were chatting about briefly during the break was when does the treatment from the vaccine expire? And I know I personally have engaged in a number of discussions with people about when that actually is. And I know you said that somebody had
inquired this
morning. Yeah.
Because they say that there was a date that was placed on the card. And I think we got some clarification on that.
Yeah, okay.
I think what they've said now basically is that the date that is put on that card is the last date that particular vaccine, that you were injected with could be used.
Okay.
That's and they said that was coming from Dr. Brown, that information was received.
So it is a kind of a timeline on it, not necessarily that's how long it lasts for, but it's just an acknowledgement of a time period within which you have been inoculated and considered. I don't even know if you could say you'd be considered exempt from getting a second one or not, but I think that it's very akin to that as the flu shot, that whether you within the time frame every year, it's something that you need to repeat for it to have the sort of effect that it possibly does.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break now. We do have a caller on hold. So, Paul, we will take that caller as soon as we return from this commercial break, if that's okay with you. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Getting vaccinated is an important part of keeping our islands protected against COVID-19. All persons who are scheduled to be vaccinated must present a photo ID which shows you are legally and ordinarily resident in the Cayman Islands or have permission to stay for 6 months or more. Accepted IDs include a Cayman Islands driver's license, passport or voter's card, a global citizen's certificate, a work permit grant letter, extension letter or job letter from a local company, or a non-Caymanian passport which shows the holder has been landed with permission to be on island for 6 months or more. Essential workers must also present their work ID to show proof of employer. Anyone who has already received a first dose may still receive the second and must show their vaccination card. For more information on the vaccine program, visit www.hsa.ky.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the
best interests of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Judicial Administration Finance Business Center will close at 1 p.m. on March 17th to facilitate a staff meeting. Normal business will resume on March 18th, 2021. In international news, fencing erected to protect Mexico's National Palace ahead of a planned march to mark International Women's Day has been turned into a memorial. The names of hundreds of victims of femicides have been painted on the metal fencing. Women's groups say the government does not do enough to combat femicides. A U.S. judge has delayed jury selection in the case of an ex-Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd, an unarmed black man, last May. The delay came as the judge awaits an appeal court's decision on whether a new murder charge can be added. The Duke of Sussex has said racism from the tabloid press that filtered into the rest of society was a large part of why he and his wife left the UK. Prince Harry told Oprah Winfrey that the UK tabloid media is bigoted and creates a toxic environment of control and fear. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. Art Connor filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Michael McLaughlin. We're going to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Number one from the Broad.
Afternoon, number one. How are you?
Listen to you, man. Coming in clear with the crystal.
Good.
I just want to say this. When it comes to this marijuana stuff, what people got to sit down and think, if not everybody can take that, the same way they can't take certain medication, it can affect them terribly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when Tom, Dick, or Harry go try this, next minute he say drop down dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They got to try and think of all those things too. What they need to do, find out what it will do to people with certain problems, and then maybe they can come up with a solution to say, okay, let's try it. But
right.
I said just to put it out there, same way with the old cocaine, the heroin and thing, we don't know. That's why many times they are finding people dead and they really don't know till months afterward what killed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel about it.
Okay.
And I said, if you're going to take medication, take it legally. Don't go and get no illegal medication for nothing.
Right.
There's no need for it.
Yes, sir.
All right, you all have a good day. Sorry I had to bother you, but I had to get that out.
I appreciate your position in, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Certainly. Great. So Michael, one of our callers touched on a very important topic as well, and talking about subsistence farming and growing our own. And off the air, we were talking about one of the government programs that is in place to assist farmers, those who are registered with the stipend.
And it's not just, some people may be confused, and I was only recently educated on this. Forgive my ignorance, those who are listening, but it's not just for commercial farmers. Right. It is also for the quote-unquote backyard farmers, which I didn't realize. I thought it was strictly for commercial farmers, and I was thinking about it more in terms of somebody growing a whole pile of crops or having cows and goats and all that kind of thing, but it's for those backyard farmers as well, who want to grow their little seasonings or maybe just have a few chickens or whatever. And I think it's vital in terms of, as the caller mentioned, what are we doing about supporting that kind of thing so we're not as reliant on everything being imported in. And history must repeat itself. That's where we came from. Because that's what our great-grandfathers and grandfathers were working the land. and toil in the soil so that there was benefits there for the families. And I think it's important for people to become educated to that point also. That those stipends are there and available for them to try and pursue an opportunity.
And the way that it is administered, it also minimizes the possibility of abuse of the system, because you don't get the cash in hand, you get the credit. You get the credit and
at the agricultural department,
right? And you go and you purchase then
as necessary for whatever it is that you're supporting.
Yeah,
I recently just picked up my form, and I was reading through it in terms of what information it is. So I think it's a very useful tool for society in general, to be able to try and help foster that and help us all to grow a little bit and self-support. Because the way the world is going right now with our current pandemic and how it affects things that we're so reliant on coming into the island, that the more things that we can do to try and help support ourselves during those periods of time is going to lessen the impact, not just on us individually, but also indeed on the government, where it comes down to people who are needing money for food and whatnot. It should, if more people utilize that opportunity, reduce those needs, and which ultimately in turn helps everyone, as a society. It really has a domino type effect.
Yeah. Now, from a personal standpoint, this is like I'm interviewing you now. But
okay.
What are some of the issues that are top in your mind as far as what you would want to see the next government, whatever iteration of that, we get some of the issues that you would like to see addressed in the Cayman Islands that are pivotal, to us continuing to exist and to enjoy the type of lifestyle that we enjoy here.
Okay, I'll try not to turn this into too much of a personal pet peeve tirade.
Sure.
But I think that one of the things that is important to us and is currently being worked on is our road system, because I don't feel that proper foresight planning is in place. Please forgive me, whoever I may be hurting the feelings of right now, but that's my opinion. I think that many people have watched it happen. We expand the road system to where it's 2 lanes, and then, a short period later, we're now expanding it to be 3 lanes. And it seems as though, with some proper foresight, we could have accomplished more with less in a form, because you're now destroying concrete that was laid down, and light poles need to move and all that sort of thing. So that's one of the things that I think is vital in terms of trying to assist us. But that kind of goes hand in hand with the amount of vehicles that we have on the island, right? And I think that's something that has been out of control for quite some period of time. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have the magic answer for that. But there are certain things that seem logical in terms of restricting the amount of vehicles that can be owned by a particular individual or a family, or however that structure goes. And that too falls hand in hand with a good public transport system. These are all things that should be being looked at if we are really looking to try and move the Cayman Islands into the future, into a way that is really good for everyone. All of these aspects should be being considered, including how we go about utilizing that public transport system. Maybe we need to look at something beyond the traditional bus that moves from point A to point B. Maybe we really need to consider putting in, maybe it's a stretch of the imagination, a monorail system that, effectively takes up very little landscape and therefore should be a little bit more cost effective to put in. Maybe I'm not educated enough in terms of how the North Sound is or whatever, but in terms of utilizing ability to move across there.
Like some sort of a causeway.
Whether it's a causeway, whether it's a rail system, whatever it is, look at all of the Florida Keys And those long expanses of bridge that move from island to island over shallow water, it can be done, you know, and it's not saying that inclement weather may not have effect on it, but obviously the proper planning, the proper structure, all those sorts of things will lend towards it. And those then go hand in hand with helping to support things moving to the eastern districts for, you know, economical growth, commercially, you know, residentially, industrial. It all, you know, those are aspects that I think should be being considered by all candidates.
Okay, we do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Ocean. Mr. Michael there.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
The other guests have left?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's just us.
Yes, the political thing. I know before you, a nice combination, a preacher, comedian, former senior government officer, discussing politics and so forth. The reality, of course, is that there are really no great issues concerning Caymanians. We have a very good life compared to many others.
Indeed.
And we have been taken through a serious year, very competent and a very, very professional way by our elected representatives, now members of parliament. But they have to be elected anyhow. I'm a member of parliament, I believe, but I stand to be corrected with that. Yes, the issue of the vehicles, we know we can cure that. It takes courage. Everything comes back to courage. Courage to stand up to the Chamber of Commerce. Courage to stand up to the powerful, which are members, insurance companies, and the powerful banking industry. But we have to limit and totally limit the amount of cars coming in. And that means the very big distributorships, which there are only a few here, limit what they're bringing in. And I would suggest a 2-year moratorium. Anyone who can't drive a car that's 2 years old, there's something wrong with them. And there are warranties anyhow for 2 and 3 years on vehicles. And just limit it and say that's it for now. You're going to buy what's in here. And one of the bad things they have done is allowed anyone at all, any individual, to be able to import a car. I don't care if it's my brother, my son, my father, my grandson, whatever. No. The answer is no, you cannot import a car. Period, done, finished, gone. That's it. You must buy a car that's here, that every make, model that's here. There are rent-car companies now where there are very few cars rented.
Yes.
I'm sure they're selling theirs, and they're very well maintained. Rent-a-cars are the best-maintained cars. They're always being maintained, and so forth. So there's no excuse. People have cars to buy. They have choices here. This nonsense of saying I'm going to import the cheap Japanese cars and stuff, we know all about what that's all about. So, no, that must stop. That can stop. But like I say, it takes courage. It takes courage. You want to know.
It's interesting interrupting you there, sir, because one of the reasons that those vehicles are available out of China and Japan is because of the laws and restrictions that exist there. That persons are not allowed to have vehicles that are older in such amount, and that's why that.
And they're not allowed, right? To redo serious repairs on them to any extent. That's it. They're sent off and sold or junk and all that. And but anyhow, that can be cured with that serious initiative. We used to have ferries coming across from North Rum Point over from 40 odd years ago. We had that very successfully. And I'd just like to ask a question. I don't know if I got it right, but I thought Miss Katina Anglin, when she was on, it's very good to hear the perspective from that. And I've always been a Christian country. Lead up to one thing I'd like to ask. But Did she say that a manifesto is a legally binding or not a legally binding?
No, she did. She did say legally binding on the Canada. Yeah, she did say that.
Is it legally binding?
I'm not sure that it is. I wouldn't put it that strongly. That
I
it is
think
it may be more morally binding than legally.
It's a matter of public record, so therefore you can be held accountable to it, or.
But you might get in there and you cannot because there are 18 other members of parliament who might not agree with one of your...
And you may not be in a position even to bring legislation forward.
Forward.
Yeah.
So I don't see how it could be legally binding on you.
Yes.
But the other thing is this.
Very quickly, caller, we have to go to a break.
No, well, I understand, but maybe I'll call back another day. I just wondered, is it an absolute necessity or law? Or is there something, well, again, binding, I guess, this word binding seems to come up, that we have to teach about other religions in public school besides our main thing, which has always been the Christian religion? Because we know that countries that are Islamic or Muslim or whatever you want to call it, or the other religion, they do not do it in their public schools, teach Christianity or anything. And they are part of the United Nations and whatever. And
Good point. Good point.
Is it that we have to do it, or you could leave it as an option that when people leave the public schools, that they can, 18 years old, you can make a choice and say you want to learn about Muslims or Islam or whatever the other factions are. I just thought I'd toss that out.
Good point. Good point for discussion. And if we were unable to discuss it today, hopefully on another day as well. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, Michael, you were talking about transportation and everything, and so timely. Here we have public encouraged to participate in Car-Free Week, March 22nd to March 26th.
Oh, wow.
How timely. Folks, please stay tuned for Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended August 31st, various life cycle funds provided returns between 9.2% and 16.5%, and our all-in expense ratio is currently the lowest it's ever been, a record low at 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It has been my pleasure to have Mr. Michael McLaughlin in the studio with me while I guest host for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And certainly Mr. McLaughlin comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience as well. And that is why sometimes you hear me just keep my mouth shut and let him talk. Because
Thank
he
you,
has,
sir. My wife would say otherwise. Talking foolishness again.
So
sorry, honey.
So we have the public being encouraged to participate in Car-Free Week, From the 22nd of March to the 26th of March, the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure is encouraging all members of the public to participate in Car Free Week, which will take place from Monday the 22nd of March to Friday the 26th of March. The National Energy Policy Initiative, organized by the ministry, is aimed at creating awareness of alternative transportation modes that will aid in energy conservation and reduce harmful emissions as well as the traffic congestion. Car Free Week is an extension of Car Free Day with the ministry, which the ministry led in 2019 to encourage civil and public servants to get around without cars and instead carpool, take the bus, ride, or walk.
So it's the initiative is about reducing the amount of usage, because it's an interesting point there that when you say Car Free Week, you know, that somebody who works in East End, they can't not go to work for that entire week because they can't use their car.
Carpool.
But yes, so it's encouraging the carpooling aspect as well as. But you know, that brings to mind, I was reading an article. I think it's quite prevalent. In Switzerland and those sorts of places where everybody moves around on bicycle, you know, but that's how the entire community is set up, such that there are minimal usages of vehicles, barring the obvious, the garbage truck or the bus or, you know, those sorts of aspects of society. But for the most part, the communities are set up so that people can utilize the bicycle. And there's obviously the knockoff benefits, you know, that you're exposing yourself to fresh air. You're getting exercise, even if it is minimal, as you move around. But the more that you do that, the more benefits there are to be gained. And I think it's important that we try and embrace that too.
Yep. We have two callers. We're going to make those two callers the final two calls for the show. Paul? First caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Mr. OC, and hi to Michael. I just want to say, I think you guys are a great combo. I thought I was on the wrong station when I tuned in and I heard Mr. OC at lunchtime. I was like, what? Anyway, jumping straight into it, Mr. OC, it's me, Johan Moxham, candidate for Georgetown North. Just wanted to ask you both, but especially you, Mr. OC. Sir, are you aware of anybody, whether it be a candidate, an agent, a proxy, or anybody affiliated with the candidate, ever being charged, arrested, charged, and convicted for vote buying in the Cayman Islands? Because what is clear to me in my travels is this is as prevalent as me going home and eating ice cream every night, to be honest with you. And if you're going to have laws on the books that are not enforced, what exactly is the point? Because you can't go to people who are living below the poverty line in deplorable conditions and expect for them not to take the gift and the money and the handout. And we're not talking about $50. I'm aware of situations where people have been given $2,000 and the persons have said to me, "Why, Mr. X brought this for me, what you have for me?" And I'm thinking to myself, wow, like if that's what the election is about, and if we have these rules and regulations, and if we pride ourselves on doing all of these things right, surely this can't be the first election that has happened. So
Okay.
From you guys.
The answer to your question is I'm not aware of any conviction in that regard before. It is a very, like I was speaking earlier in the day to someone, it is a very, very difficult area to police. And unless you were to get the cooperation of the person who has been gifted, right? That person would also probably have to walk with some type of recording device that they recorded the conversation that took place and why anything was given to them. If it was given to them, say, "I'm giving you this refrigerator, I'm giving you this $2,000. Make sure it is for you to vote for me. Make sure that you go and you vote, for me." And then otherwise it becomes one person's word against the other.
Okay.
But you know the great equalizer. And I'm not saying that I am sanctioning, vote buying or giving anything. But at the end of the day, unless it's a postal ballot that someone tries to influence, when you go into that voting booth, it is only you and your God who knows which candidate you have voted for when you go into that voting booth. So they can make all the promises, they can give them anything that they want, but there's still no guarantee that the person is going to vote for them.
No, it has the old saying, eat them out, drink them out, vote them out. Mr. Oakley, thank you so much for sharing that with me. It's just that this is happening across the island, and like I said, this is my first time ever embarking on frontline politics, but I'm completely blown away. Like, it is obvious corporate Cayman is backing these candidates and these parties, because I'll tell you, I don't take money, I'm self-funded, but to see the lengths that people will go for the status quo to remain when Caymanians continue to fall further and further behind is mind-blowing. But I just want to thank you for your candid answer and the amount of your experience. Michael, continue the great work. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you very much. Michael, anything you want to comment?
Well, I share your opinion, and as Johan put it at the very end there, eat them out, drink them out, vote them out kind of thing. But I feel too that there are many who fall into the category that because the candidate has offered them something, it forms a type of allegiance that they may not be strong enough, for the want of a term, to feel that they can vote for someone other than who provided them that sort of support, for the want of a term. And it's unfortunate. And I think it is. I agree with you. It's very difficult to police. But there's another caller, isn't there, Paul? No, okay. So it's. I think that it kind of comes full circle to what Ms. Katina was mentioning before. Each person out there needs to ensure that they are as educated as possible about whom it is that's available for them to cast a vote for. And I think that it's, every opportunity that you have to listen to individuals, even going to the point, if you are so inclined, to seek them out, to try and obtain some opportunity to speak with them directly. If you can't, at least listen in whenever they are on the radio or they're having their political meeting in the public space, to really try and get a feel for them. Got some mixed feelings about it though, because you brought up a point when Ms. Katina was on, and I had mentioned something about where it falls into the one man, one vote, and these individualized areas where there may only be two candidates to vote for. Yes, yeah. And she said, quite rightly so, you choose whom you feel is going to be the best, but then the responsibility sort of changes foot at that point in time onto the voter, that once that individual has been selected through the voting system and is now your representative, whether you voted for them or not, I think that each individual needs to make a point of, if you feel strongly about something that needs to change in society, that you search them out and put pressure on them to try and initiate that change.
Yes, yeah.
Because that's the only way that society is going to be able to move forward. The opportunity to engage with them, if you choose to just sit back and do nothing, and as we often do, talk amongst ourselves, boy, I can't believe that they're not done nothing about that, but you haven't actually gone to the individual to try and seek the change that it is you're interested in.
And the voting demographics are changing in the Cayman Islands. I heard stories now where young people, they're in groups and they are actually inviting candidates to come and to speak to them, and not so much to speak to them, but to sit with them, engage, so that they can basically interview them and find out where they're coming from. So The days of the refrigerators and the washers and dryers and putting a load of soil in your that's changing rapidly in the Cayman Islands. But we still need to have robust legislation in place that will discourage these people, from doing this thing. We're almost like Citizens United in the United States, where anyone can give, any amount these days. Almost, that's putting it loosely, but it need to be policed. And one of the strong proponents of that has always been a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gilbert McLean, who has always advocated for more stringent campaign financing laws in the Cayman Islands, which we need. Michael, it has been a pleasure, tremendous pleasure.
Mine also, sir.
Sitting, talking with you, having you co-host with me. And, if Sterling doesn't mind, we'd like to do this more often.
There you go.
Folks, I want to thank you all very much for joining us on Talk today as well. Have a great day. Please stay safe. And if you haven't received your vaccination yet and you are medically fit to do so, we would encourage you to do so. It is a decision that you make yourselves, but in making that decision, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping all of those around you as well. Have a great day. Please stay safe.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.